Hey there, everyone. I'm going to try responding to this part of the question around how does globalization affect the interdependence between two neighboring countries and the surrounding region. Great question, as everyone's are on here. And the first part of it, I think Camelia, or please correct me if I'm mispronouncing that, answers it spot on, especially in a general sense, referring to those cultural, economic, and political aspects. My invitation for you all would be to begin to start providing specific examples. So in this case, a specific country, both in your questions and in your answers to each other, and in preparation for exams in the course, or just most importantly for overall learning and knowledge of the world. When we can contextualize and put our explanations into specifics, it shows it provides a much deeper understanding, a much deeper learning experience, and will serve the world better. Our world would be much better served with more specificity, is the big fancy word for being more specific. And on that note, a specific example of globalization affecting two countries, neighboring countries, that is. Let's take, for instance, China and India right now. They share a massive border, well over 1,000 miles, at least 1,000 kilometers. Most other borders of the world are measured in kilometers. It's something for us to be aware of as global citizens, that us in the US are quite confined and restricted and odd with still using the imperial system of miles, feet, gallons, cups, but Fahrenheit. Anyway, so you have these two, global powers. One could argue that India is quickly approaching global superpower status, as well as with the U.S. and China right now. And oftentimes, these two countries, China and India, are at military standoffs right now, or over border disagreements in the Himalaya and in Western Himalaya, where it transitions into the Karakoram and the Hindu Kush region of the Pamir Mountains, phenomenal mountains as you work into Western China and India. So that's a bit of a political disagreement, more than a political. Very contentious, very precarious border issue. And how has globalization affected this? Well, you have even amongst these political disagreements, you have a massive amount of trade between the two nations, and you have a massive influence of trade and commerce, commercial, economic activity, spanning outward around the globe from the two countries. There's it's a very significant amount of competition in the surrounding region for who will be the dominating trade partner. One could probably pretty easily argue that China is winning, or is superseding China in that trade game. Unfortunately, is the term often used. And where else can we go with that in terms of thinking through globalization, in terms of economic, political, cultural integration? The nearly, dare we say, ever-present social, cultural integration of the internet right now, globally, in most areas of the globe, we could easily say. Interestingly, in both countries, forms of restricting internet access. We're seeing that just in these past couple weeks flare up again with the farmers protesting in India outside of New Delhi, the government restricting access to internet, China's Great Firewall and its restrictions on what its citizens can access on the internet being a long-standing issue. So those are some, interesting globalization aspects in the socio-cultural regard as well, which, as we can, perhaps easily imagine, are by no means only socio-cultural, right? All of these seemingly distinct categories of politics, economics, culture are completely interdigitated, intercombined, interdependent, right? As a key term of our chapter this week, interdependence. And yeah, so maybe I'll leave it there and ask in response to try to keep this form of Socratic dialogue going. Like, what are your perspectives? As you've seen me asking numerous students already this question, but this is just these are just my perspectives on this, and granted, they come from various sources and years of studying these things, but I don't want it to be just me telling you how it is, and that's the way it is. This is important for you all to explore and think through these issues yourself. So thanks for listening, and I look forward to reading or watching. I think you all can post a video if you'd like. At least I'm told that's a functioning canvas. Okay, we'll talk soon.